Mina, what does this whole situation say about the NFL right now?
Well, reading the emails or the excerpts, I guess I was struck by a lot of things, obviously the hatefulness, but especially the level of comfort and privilege it must take to put that sort of speech in a work email, right? And we haven't seen the other side of it, but we know they involved Bruce Allen, who was with Washington football team at the time. And it got me thinking. We talk a lot about the need for more diversity amongst coaches, front office executives, and ownership in the NFL. And sometimes people say, why? Why does it matter so much? This is why it matters, right? This is cronyism, what we're seeing right here. And we can't change people's hearts, can't make them more empathetic, but what we or the NFL can do is change up the makeup of the league. And I think this is just yet another piece of evidence that that process needs to accelerate.
Well, I don't necessarily know if it's about the process of the NFL or about the process of society. It's about the process of people. And Mina mentioned the privilege that it must take to put this in the email. Well, if you're Jon Gruden, why wouldn't you feel that privilege? If you're Jon Gruden and you've known this has always been your heart, this has always been your thoughts, this has always been your mind, and you have enough people that you can share these exact same thoughts with, that you can put it in the work email, then why do I need to change? If I've continued to be successful, not only in life, but in my career, being this type of man, why would I change? And I think the ultimate privilege was put on display when he was asked about those emails and about what he said about DeMaurice Smith. He said, you know what? I'm not racist and I'm done talking about it. Imagine the privilege of being able to insult someone, to be able to say those type of things and then tell the very people who you need to be explaining these things to that you're not going to talk about it anymore. But that's the privilege that he felt he had his entire life. That's the privilege that's exemplified America as it is. And when you talk about the executive boards, when you talk about the diversity, that lack of diversity are the same type of people he's sending these emails to. And that's why Jon Gruden now finds himself in this hot water, because it's been exposed to other people.
Yeah, man, look, we sit at this table every Tuesday with different backgrounds, cultures, things that we grew up to believe in and all of that. And the reason why listening to you and Mina is so important is because you get outside of your element. You need to find another way of thinking. And to your point with cronyism, Mina, that's because you get in silos. Like comfort. People that want to be comfortable usually don't attain the level of thought that's needed in order to function in a multicultural society with people with different ideas and views. I was born and raised in Louisiana. Racism was really prevalent. My family raised me to genuinely respect everyone. That's how I was raised, in behind closed doors and in front of their face. And y'all know up here sitting with me, if I got something to say to you, y'all know I'm gonna say it to you. I'm not going to have outside conversations about that. And my last point, the one thing my grandfather taught me, man, growing up in Louisiana, and obviously he experienced Jim Crow era, experienced racism and the things that are going on. And the reason I'm pointing to this because it didn't seem like the racial trope that DeMaurice Smith was enough. It should have been.
First off, wait, he was not going to get fired.
100%.
Not at all. Not at all. But my grandfather left me with this, man. And RC, you and I have had many conversations about this. And also Dan, Mina, we went through all of this when George Floyd happened. We had a lot of tough, hard conversations. The one thing my grandfather always told me, he said, you know what I don't respect, because the KKK was very prevalent in Louisiana and in areas he grew up in.
They wore hoods.
He said, the one thing I don't respect about them is they wear hoods.
They wore hoods.
That they won't show their face and acknowledge who they are as people. And that's how I feel about this Jon Gruden situation.
So you guys know, like, I texted everybody, I think yesterday, it was like, they got to fire him, right, when everything happened, because I was literally shocked. Candidly, I was shocked when I read everything. And you talk about how your family raised you. I was shocked because Jon Gruden, in many ways, grew up in the locker room. You know, like the locker room, and we all know, is you're around people that don't look like you, that don't talk like you, that don't come from the same background as you, that think differently and that act differently. And I was shocked that you could still have those thoughts as a grown adult while having spent that much time in a locker room. Today, I've been thinking about Peyton Manning's Hall of Fame speech. And at the end of his speech, he was talking about the preservation of the game of football and moving the game of football forward. And I think the reality for me today was like football is a different game today in every way than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. It's changing. And it's incumbent upon everybody, people from the past of football, present of football and the future of football to make sure that there is nothing nor anybody that gets in the way of the growth of the game of football and its impact, right?
Right.
And I'd say this should be a really important learning lesson for everybody that's not only a football coach, but a leader. Stop asking your players to be and or do something that you aren't demanding of yourself to be
100%.
and or do.
I just want to hit on,
100%.
you talked about the future of football and Peyton's comments. All of the people that Gruden insulted in these emails, and there's a lot of them, right? Michael Sam, Eric Reed, by extension, Colin Kaepernick, let's be honest, Sarah Thomas, female referee. Those are all people who have made football better, who have moved the league in the right direction. And for him to say this is just, to me, not only is it so regressive, that is what football needs to get away from, that old style of thinking. And that's why I think it hurts so many people.
I think, I know you have to talk.
Yeah.
This is actually a blessing. And it's a blessing because I think people felt like we were moving forward in a way to where people and humans like Jon Gruden no longer existed in locker rooms, existed in buildings, and they do still exist. And so it's a blessing that now this is out. It's a blessing that he's no longer a part of this game because Jon Grudens breed more Jon Grudens.
Yeah.